Bad news for Teofimo Lopez. Vasyl Lomachenko says he'll fight him if Lopez gets a belt or has a belt. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, if you want to go to the Box Fan Expo, you can purchase tickets from me directly. Link is in the description. It runs concurrent on the day of Canelo versus Daniel Jacobs in Vegas, which is a terrific fight. Now, it helps the channel. I am an affiliate. Now, speaking of Lomachenko, he had a media day today, and let's jump right into it. I also did a video on Teofimo. They dredged up sparring from 2018, like early 2018, with Teofimo when he was 20, sparring with Ordenis Ugas, who just had a good fight with Sean Porter. Some people even thought Ugas won. So check that video. You should see a link in this video for that video, or I'll put it in the description or something, and you can see my review on that particular sparring session. Now, Teofimo, he's hot right now in the game. He's making noise. He has charisma, has swag, and they asked Lomachenko about fighting him at his media day. You know, he's preparing for a fight with Anthony Corolla, who has a record of 34-6-3 with only 13 knockouts, right? And this is what Lomachenko says when asked about fighting Teofimo at the media day. He says, "No problem. I'm ready for anyone, but I need a belt. If you have a belt, you can come in the ring. I fight with you." Then he says, "I want to fight the best, but now Corolla is the best choice. He is the mandatory challenger and wanted to fight me. That is why I accepted the fight." So, you know, bad news for the people who were anticipating a Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez fight for a few reasons. One, Teofimo Lopez was on ESPN, the network that Lomachenko also fights on, and the top ranked fighters, and now Frank Warren, you know, and MTK Global just signed with ESPN for distribution. So Teofimo did an interview with Max Kellerman that can be found on YouTube.
And then Teofimo Lopez shows up and starts knocking everyone out. Yeah. What do you think about an eventual fight with Lomachenko? Do you want one? How soon?
If it happens, it happens. Listen, what we're looking forward to is the world titles. Who has a world title right now? Lomachenko has a world title. Richard Comey has a world title. Mikey Garcia has the world title, but he's at 147 right now. So things like that. We're here to fight the world champions. We're here to win the world titles. It doesn't matter who it is.
But it does matter who it is, because Comey is not Lomachenko, right? I mean, that's a different kind of fight. What do you think about Lomachenko?
Lomachenko is, of course, you know, I feel like he does the same thing over and over again when it comes to footwork and moving to the same side. There's 3-4 ways to beat Lomachenko, you know.
What are they?
But I can't say.
You're not giving away the secrets.
No, absolutely not.
How soon do you think you'd be ready to fight him?
I can fight him in April 20th. I can fight him whenever it is.
You
ready.
want the April date that Comey had to give up because of the hand?
Whatever it is. We don't, listen, at the end of the day, there's no reason to wait a time frame or anything. If you're a true champion, and in order for me to say that I am the best, you have to beat the best, right? Obviously. And I don't see, to be honest, I don't fear no man besides God. I don't respect no man besides my father. So it's all said and done. Who is Lomachenko to me?
And he called out Lomachenko. He said, "I want to fight him. I'm looking for a title. I'm ready now. You know, me and my pops, we're here to stay and here to take the world by storm." You know, and then with that sparring that was released by ESPN leaked after the Ordenis Ugas fight, you know, that helped boost, at least on my channel. You know, I did a video, got 10,000 views in the first, you know, today, and the day is not even over, and I just released it this morning. So people are watching Teofimo Lopez, and now you have Lomachenko who says, "I'll fight you, no problem, if you have a belt." But here's the conundrum. We know Teofimo Lopez is, you know, he just won Prospect of the Year, things like that. So of course he doesn't have a belt. So, you know, it sounds like a reason to not have to fight him, because, you know, you're not going to, there's not even that many belts in the division. He says, "I'll fight you, have a belt." Lomachenko beat Jorge Linares in a unification, or he beat Jorge Linares for a belt, right? No, I'm trying to think. Yeah, then he fought Jose Pedraza in the unification. That's what it was. His first fight was Linares. Then he unified with Pedraza. And the other champion was Mikey Garcia's old belt, Richard Comey, who has a knuckle injury, right? So, you know, I'm trying to think of the last remaining, if there's another champion in the division or where that other belt is. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but it's drawing the blank. But, you know, that accounts for a good amount of the belts. You know, Richard Comey is injured right now, which is why Lomachenko is saying he has to fight Anthony Corolla, you know, his mandatory. So how can Teofimo get a belt in time for fighting Lomachenko? So this is terrible news. This is bad news, because Teofimo also said he's going after champions. He wants to, you know, make his name in the lightweight division, but he's only staying here for this year, and then he's probably going to move up, you know. So there's not really, you know, an opportunity that I can really see with Lomachenko shutting Teofimo or non-champions out or non-mandatories out. You know, I don't know how that would even work, because he's fighting Corolla. You know, Teofimo's fighting on the Terrence Crawford versus Amir Khan card in April. So they can't fight pretty much in the summer, you know. And Richard Comey is injured. We don't know when his knuckle will be better, and he's ready to fight. And who knows if he wants to fight Teofimo Lopez. So it doesn't really seem conceivable that Teofimo can probably get a belt and then have a Lomachenko fight before this year is up. And he says after this year, he's planning on going to move to 140. So it doesn't look like we're going to get the fight. And, you know, it's crazy because Lomachenko, he is a person who they put on the pedestal and said he's #1 pound for pound. But there's an up and coming guy in your class who's calling you out. And to me, it's a substantially better fight than Richard Comey. You know, Comey's not a horrible fight. I like, put it this way, Teofimo is my top fight outside of Mikey Garcia at 135, you know, unless Gervonta Tank Davis moves up to 135. But right now he's at 130, you know, and you're saying you have to have, it's just like Lomachenko seems like he has a lot of stipulations. He said he don't want to fight Pacquiao because he's too old, you know. He says he's not going to fight Teofimo, or he will fight him, but if he has a belt, which we know he doesn't have a belt, you know, and it'd be hard to get a belt and then also fight Lomachenko later in the year. I don't know how that would work. And like I said, I don't know if Comey would want to fight Lomachenko, who he'd have a size advantage over, like probably a substantial size advantage over, or if he would want to fight a young hot guy with no belt like Teofimo Lopez, you know. So who knows if the IBF champion Comey even wants to fight Teofimo. So we don't even know if Teofimo, basically it sounds like he might get ducked from champions. That's what it looks like, you know, because it doesn't look like he has enough time. I don't know how the sanctioning bodies work and stuff. I don't know where Teofimo is ranked, you know, because he's a hot prospect. And the sad thing is Lomachenko, in his second pro fight, he fought Orlando Salido. He fought for a title. He fought Gary Russell right after that. You know what I'm saying? So when he was eager to prove himself and get the best fights, and you know, he wanted to prove and fight for titles, nobody stagnated his growth, and you know, it was the path was made for it. And it's funny because Bob Arum just did interviews, and he said that Al Heyman he doesn't want his guys to lose to top ranked guys. That's why he's not going to make the Terrence Crawford Spence fight. But the funny thing is, you have a top ranked in-house fight that could be made, two guys in the same division. One's talkative in Teofimo Lopez, and he's aggressively calling out Lomachenko, even to the point on Max Kellerman's brand new show. ESPN got this new budget that they're dedicating to boxing, and he's calling them out on that and saying he wants it. I made a video about it, and Lomachenko is telling him he has to get a title first. So, you know, it sounds like a way out of fighting it. Like, you know, Lomachenko fight Pacquiao. That's a great fight. Oh no, he's too old. I don't want to build my name off an old guy. Okay, Teofimo, that's you know, since Mikey's moving up fighting Errol Spence, taking that challenge at 147, we don't know if he's moving back to lightweight. So what about Teofimo? Oh, no, he has to get a title first, you know? And then at the media day, he said he'll drop back down to 130 for Gervonta Tank Davis, who is a champion, but he's a champion at 130. So it's really weird for the pound for pound #1 on ESPN. Not, you know, I don't have Lomachenko as #1 pound for pound, but it's really weird that the ESPN pretty much consensus pound for pound is looking to regress and go fight Tank Davis, which, you know, is a good fight. I don't mind the fight, but drop back down in weight. You don't typically see that. You have belts. You know, he says all Tank does is talk, talk, talk. But you have belts at 135, and you say you want to unify and be undisputed, but then you're talking about fighting Tank in the division below, you know. And this is the other thing that's insane to me. Tank is, you know, Eddie Hearn saying he's offering $5 million for Tevin Farmer and DAZN, and he's on a whole nother network. So we don't even know the logistics, because I've heard from Leonard Ellerby that, hey, we ain't fighting on DAZN. You know, they don't call the shots. Tank is the star. He's the celebrity. Drake and all these guys come out to see him fight, period. So we don't even know if Tank would, you know, if the powers that be and the logistics would even make an ESPN versus a Showtime Fox Premier Boxing Champs fighters. Meanwhile, Teofimo is on the same side as you, on the same side of the street, ready-made fight, and you're talking about Tank Davis. You know, and for the fans, the man fans, when Lomachenko says, yeah, I'll fight Tank, when they were both at 130, people said Tank was ducking. That's what they said. You know, even though I've talked to him and he told me, he's like, man, you'll see the difference will show when we fight, you know. So I don't think he's afraid of him, but that's what people said. People said he was afraid. But now Lomachenko says, I'm not fighting Pacquiao because he's too old, and I'm not fighting Teofimo unless he gets a title, even though he's called you out. It's a great fight. You're on the same side of the fence, so there's no Cold War promotional issues. You're in the same weight class, you know, and now you're saying he has to have a title. You know, it's just funny to me. So I want to see if the people who said Tank ducked Lomachenko have the same energy when Lomachenko, who ESPN is saying is #1 pound for pound best fighter in the world, when he's fighting Anthony Corolla, which is a far lesser fight than Teofimo. Anthony Corolla has 6 losses and 13 knockouts. You know, Teofimo Lopez has probably closer to 13 fights and has mostly knockouts. You know, so basically Teofimo in a shorter career has more knockouts. Teofimo he's 12-0 with 10 knockouts. And then you have Anthony Corolla, who has 43 fights and he has only 13 knockouts. So in 12 fights, Teofimo Lopez has 10 knockouts against his guys. And that's almost the same amount of numbers. That's 3 less knockouts than Anthony Corolla has in 43 fights, roughly. You know? So we know what the more action-packed, exciting fight, the bigger fight and the bigger name would be, you know. But they're going to say, oh, it's a mandatory. But, the mandatory is starting to become almost a cop-out in some situations, because we know that when big fights need to happen, these promotional bodies, these promoters, these matchmakers, they know what to say and do and who to contact in order to postpone any mandatories from happening. Look at Anthony Joshua. His mandatory was Luis King Kong Ortiz. We to this day haven't seen that fight. So, you know, looks like the walls are closing in on Lomachenko to fight tough fights, and you know, we'll see what he decides to do. But it looks like the fights are getting tougher at lightweight, and you know, he's thinking about moving to 130 and almost creating an obstacle or roadblock for the Teofimo Lopez fight. So I would love to hear in the comment section what you guys have to think about that. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.